Yo, what's up, guys? I'm here with another review, and this is for Weapons. I recently watched it. My girl wanted to watch it, and I was like, okay, let's give it a try. It's about to be Halloween. Try to ease into it, and there was a lot of hype, and I saw a lot of videos. So before we get into spoilers, I gotta tell you, half the people I talked to that watched this movie liked it, and the other half did not like it. What was the difference? The difference is a couple spoilers that you need to learn, but they're not really spoilers, they're integral to the plot. So I'm gonna give you one right now, or two, and then the last one will you gotta watch the movie first, and then hear the theory. These are not spoilers; they're kind of theories. The first theory, or before I even start with that, I'm gonna give you a review. Me personally, because I got that one theory that was perfect. This movie became like an 8. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty good, and there's just so many fucking deep meanings, and so many people are making conspiracies. That's what makes the movie so much better. By itself, it's probably a 5, but with these deeper meanings, it's like an 8, and especially since it's connected and all that. But before I get to that, let me tell you about the first conspiracy theory. This is a great horror movie. It's not horror. It's gore. It might scare you a little bit, and there's a little bit of what's it called? It's like thriller. It's not too much. Sometimes you're like holding your breath. You're like, holy shit. But it's mostly like gore and like shock, scare for the most part. So the first conspiracy theory that you need to know and learn. One of the dads has a dream. Well, before I even say that, so this movie is about just a bunch of kids that go missing at a specific time, right? I believe it's like 2:17. Yeah, we'll just run with that. But they go out at a specific time at 2:17 a.m. They all go the same way, and they all go missing. A whole classroom except the teacher and one kid. That's the whole trailer. That's the whole story. That's the best knowledge that you need to know about this. So one of the dads from the missing kids is trying to find the kids, and then he has like a very lucid dream. And at the end of that dream, he looks up and there's stars, and it's like an AK, like an AR. Now, people done a conspiracy, have made this conspiracy and connected it to school shootings. They're connecting this image as like how a whole town suffers after a school shooting, the effects after or during a school shooting. Now, there's nothing like that in this movie. Now, the second conspiracy theory that you need to know is this movie is made by the same people that made Barbarian, I believe, and they connect this like it's Conjuring or something. So basically, Barbarian, the movie, the horror movie where the girl Tess gets an Airbnb, and this one, Weapons, are connected. Now, we all know that the new teacher in Weapons is, just came to town, is new, got the new job. And we all know that Tess, when she gets the Airbnb, she's leaving an old job. She's leaving an old town. She's going to a different town, and she's getting a new job. We don't know anything about Tess except that. But before she goes into the Airbnb, she is getting blown up by calls from Marcus from Weapons, which is the director of the school in Weapons. So basically, these two things are connected, and we could see more movies that are more like, fucking Wendigos and werewolves and all the horror shit, and to a cinematic ending where all these things connect and all these people connect to help each other out to beat a greater evil, which would be an Avengers for horror movies. The Conjuring did it, but I will admit they kind of took the easy route and just kind of went easy. Now that's gonna be the new movie that I'm excited for. Most of them are pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. I like the Insidious, except part 2 or 3. One of those is boring. But besides that, I'm gonna get into spoilers now. So I recommend you watch it because this is gonna be like Avengers building blocks, for horror franchise. So, us horror fans, we're feeding this whole year and the upcoming years. We're gonna have like so many horror movies, like all the Marvel Avengers movies and all that. It's gonna be oversaturated. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna watch them. I'm gonna review them. But besides this, go watch it right now. This will enhance your experience now that you know this. You'll find more meaning into the movie. So just look out for people and their families and be like, holy shit, if someone's kid did get lost, this is how they would be reacting, and then you understand. So, go watch it. This is spoilers now. Now I love how they built the every character. This movie is basically attracts not one main character, but it goes from different people's perspectives and how they connect. So it'll go from the main teacher, everything that happens to her, she doesn't know shit, she's getting harassed, and then the parents that are harassing her, and what happens to her, and what happened to her car. It was a specific person because he has red paint. It doesn't directly tell you anything. You just gotta connect the dots, but it intertwines in itself, and it's basically a movie where you don't know shit, mysteries are happening, and then we find out who's doing those things, and then we find out who's behind that, and then we find out the very origin of this, which is the kid in the classroom. The kid in the classroom, her aunt was coming. We follow him and we see what happens before this whole mayhem where all these kids go missing. We find out from a tweaker that's being followed by a cop that's fucking the teacher. I'm telling you, this is all intertwined. We see all these different people's perspectives. I believe it's 5. Tess, the teacher. Then we go to one of the dads that's harassing the teacher and trying to figure out what's going on. And then we follow to the tweaker, no, the cop. And then we go to the tweaker and what he was doing. And the tweaker finds out that the kids are all in this one house of the kid that's the only person that's left. And then we go to the perspective of the teacher and what happens to him. And then we go down to the kid. And then we go down to the witch. So, yes, they all go missing because there's a witch in play, which is the only kid in the classroom that shows up. Her aunt's coming to town, and the parents are explaining, hey, you need to be prepared for your aunt that's coming. And it's so beautifully smooth and created. And I just love the plot perspective. The movie itself isn't like a wow, but it's a holy damn, holy shit, So this witch, we don't know yet, but the kid starts noticing weird shit. After the first day he comes back to school, he sees the witch, and he's like, holy shit, she looks fucking weird as fuck. Because she's like moving like all fucking off canny, like not over exaggerated, but she brings a tree. He sees that, and then after the first day, the parents are completely hypnotized. The whole movie's telling you about parasites, and they're learning about parasites in class, and there's parasites. So I'm thinking that at this point I'm like, holy shit, there's a parasite somewhere around here, but no, it's a witch, and I'll give you a conspiracy theory about that at the end of this video. So basically, she does something to their parents, and she teaches the kid how she's doing it. So he's like, he starts getting suspicious, and then he throws water at his dad while eating breakfast, and then the mom's like, or the aunt is like, which is the witch. I'll start referring to her as a witch. She starts saying, "Oh, hey, she doesn't say like, oh, you found out." She's like, if you don't follow my orders, this is what's gonna happen. And she grabs a fucking twig and puts her hair around it and then snaps it. And then both parents grab the fork and just start stabbing their faces. Like, no reaction. They just keep going. They keep going. And then the kid's like trying to hold them and telling them, hey, stop. And then, after like a minute of them just bashing their heads with a fork, the witch calms them down, throws the hair or whatever into the water, and it cleanses it. So she's like, watch carefully, teaches them how to do it, exactly how it works. And then we find out that the teacher's like, go to school, don't say this to anyone, or this is going to happen to your parents. and grab a personal belonging from all your classmates. And then the witch also mentions, your parents weren't enough. I need more. So go do this. So then the kid grabs all their name tags, gives them to the witch, and then the witch is doing like weird shit and weird rituals in the room. The kid doesn't see this, but he's scared as hell. He's by himself, and then you're like, holy fuck, this is traumatizing for like a 7, 8 year old boy, you know? And then she does the whole possession right at 217. All the kids run out. There's a conspiracy theory about the 217 too. I believe there was a SS, you know, in that specific date, and that could be a complete recall to that, which is deeper meaning. Which, you know, that sucks. It's a huge problem in America. I don't want to get into that, but I don't agree with it. It's horrible. We need to fix this, and I'm glad movies are talking about it. So then what goes on is, you know, all the kids come and they're all in the basement, and it doesn't tell you in the movie, but you can presume that she's using these kids to longer her life because she's going ill or dying. So she's taking all of their age, or, you know, consuming them to enhance her age and give her more strength or more power whatsoever, right? So then at this point, they're about to leave the next day because she's almost done, and then the parents that so she sent off the school director, which is the guy we were talking about that was connected to Barbarian Marcus. He sent him to go kill her, and he just goes fully on just like straight path to kill her. But he ends up dying because a car hits him in the freeway. So then the teacher and one of the parents go to the house. They figure it out. They pinpoint what house it is, and they connect all the dots. They go to the house. They see the cop's car. He's been possessed as well. The druggie's also possessed. When they go invade it, the kids brought it to his own hands. You know, the witch is like, don't pass this salt line. Whatever you do, don't do it. The kid's like, fuck that. He runs into it, and then both his parents target him. So it's like a spell where if anyone touches the salt, it targets them. Then, you know, the parent and the teacher are downstairs. They hit a piece of salt, and then the cop and the tweaker going up against them. Dude, the dad is just bashing the tweaker. He's like, boom, boom, just grabs him, throws him. And then he gets back up and then grabs him, throws him. And that happens for like 5 minutes. These guys are immortal. So then he ends up, the teacher ends up grabbing the guy's gun, the cop's gun, which is her ex-lover, and she's really in love with him. But he was, you know, having an affair with his wife. It's very, you know, it's all in the movie. He grabs his gun, and then boom, just clocks him in the head. And then he goes for the tweaker, and boom, he saves the other guy and clocks him in the head. And then they go upstairs, and I believe the kid's being chased by both his parents, and they're just breaking the door like The Shining, you know. And then I believe that the kid storms into the room, and then grabs the tree, runs to the bathroom, and then the Shining thing happens. You know, the parents are like bashing through it, and he's putting everyone's hair around it, all their belongings, and then he throws it in the water, and then I believe he grabs all the belongings of the kids and puts the witch's hair around it and breaks it, so all the kids go after the witch. And this is where the comedy starts, boys. So all the kids just start running for the grandma, the aunt that's a witch, and they're just breaking through shit, and the grandma's just running, and then they're breaking through all like 17 kids, just going like this, just breaking everything. And then they get to the aunt eventually after like 5 minutes of this comedic track, and they just start ripping her to like shreds, bro. It's like super gory. And then everyone's cleaned, everyone's good, and the movie just ends. Now this is a new type of horror movie, dude. That's what I'm talking about. You need to understand that this is not a horror traditional movie about ghosts and all that. This is a movie about witches, about loss, about what's going on. You kind of have to go into perspective of the kids. Now, the last conspiracy theory is that the witch was gonna teach the kid, because the witch has been dead for a long time. This is she's teaching the kid how to do everything, because once she stops using that body cannot keep going any longer. She's gonna transfer the parasite to the kid. So that's the whole conspiracy theory. And I'm sure there's gonna be more, and a lot more things that I missed, but that's for you guys to find out. I'm just trying to enhance your experience of this movie and how important it's gonna be in the future if they make it in Avengers, which would be crazy. But yeah, that's my review. 8 out of 10, and I'll talk to you guys all later. Peace out.